Greetings and salutations to you all. I wanted to address the hostile environment management is creating with the clerks they brought over from Bussy with job assignments, but are being kept on standby when they are needed on the floor, on the workroom floor. But I need to address the meeting and what we learned that makes it all worse than what we thought. To begin with, the most compelling testimony that we heard came from the vice president, who stated, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but that she didn't receive the mail informing her of the charges and the date of the hearing because she was on vacation, which seems to contradict the December 1st, 2024 letter where she was a signatory on it along with Annetta Davidson and the sergeant at arms. That letter stated that they filed a charge against me with the Hillside Police Department, which was a blatant lie that I addressed in last week's video blog. But that letter didn't mention anything about a vacation, but did request an extension when it was released a day before the hearing. The letter is in the community tab of this channel for you to read if you haven't already done so. But also listen to the voicemail of the Hillside police officer that contradicted those lies. That's included in last week's vlog at the end as well. The vice president also admitted to improperly misappropriating the duties of the treasurer and the secretary. In her words, they asked for help, so we took it. Help is not banning them from performing their duties. It's assigning or assisting them in the performance of their duties. But to my understanding, they were not getting the union time they needed to perform those duties. You can address any questions about that to them directly. They are in a better position to explain why that excuse doesn't hold water. Curiously, though, they didn't seem to be bothered by the duties of any of the trustees who have not performed any of their duties for the past 2 years, but was and continues to be paid. They were left alone by the president and vice president. One of the accused began to say in his defense that he turned the money in that he collected, but to who? The money was never returned to the local, so where did that money go? And was he the only one that collected money? So all fingers seem to point to Annetta Davidson, a second-time president who should have known better. The vice president actually stated, if I'm not mistaken, that she didn't know anything about the Bulls tickets and she didn't spend the money for it. In her response, which was widely rejected by the majority of members in attendance, Annetta Davidson stated that she did get authorization from the board. But here the VP is stating that she didn't know anything about it. And I have statements from other board members that they were never polled or consulted about the purchase of those tickets, which contradicts Annetta's version. Then Annetta goes on to try and blame the treasurer for the failure of the trustees to do their job. Seriously? Did that sound good to you when you wrote and rehearsed that nonsense? Because it made the case of how inept you are at your job and how you weaponize your office against those who oppose your wrongdoing and look the other way completely for the people that unquestionably support you. Either way, you and they are unworthy of the seats you all hold. The charges against the vice president included signing for Annetta's daughter to continue to be paid as a steward when the treasurer refused to sign off on it because she had been off work for a very long time and never performed any of the duties of a steward. We learned as long as you didn't oppose her or call her out on her misdeeds, Annetta Davidson and Alicia Taylor never had a problem with people holding seats and being paid from your union dues. There were at least 3 executive board members who are guilty of this and owe the local every penny of the money they were paid over the last 2 years, which should include the expense of them going to the conferences and conventions on your dime. Lastly, Annetta, what did you do with the money that was collected and how was it turned in? How much of it was used? How many tickets were sold? How many people actually went and were they all members? Did you and your family attend? Did the vice president attend? Did the trustees attend? Did the sergeant at arms attend? Did any other board members and their families attend? If so, over a year and a quarter later, where's the detailed accounting for the event? So as it stands, Annetta Davidson, without proper authorization, spent $3,080 of members' money on the Bulls tickets, collected the cash from the sale of some of those tickets, and never returned a penny to the local, and refuses to give a detailed accounting on any of it. That's stealing, and it's worse because it's a willful breach of the most sacred of trusts in a local. Read the room, Annetta. No, we don't trust you or your enablers, and will under no circumstances just take your word for any of it. Peace and solidarity to you all. See you next Wednesday.